WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
Hey y'all, this is Larry Whitfield. Welcome to Sunday Throwbacks right here on WVTC Detroit. On today's show, it is our hope that you will enjoy great music from past and present, that you will be impacted by a throwback moment. So listen, call a neighbor, call a friend, call somebody. Let them know Sunday Throwbacks is on. Let's go. It's Sunday. Sunday Throwbacks. That's the laugh. What's up, everybody? This is Sunday Throwback. I am your host, Larry Whitfield, and my co-host, Louis Boyd III. You all right, man?
I'm good, man.
Go ahead and get that sneeze out. There you go. There you go on and get that out. You know, he has hay fever, you know. So
No, I don't.
When you got something, listen. We are so glad that you're here. I need everybody to like and share. If you are on Facebook, I need you to like and share. If you are on X or YouTube, I need you to also like and share and let everybody know that Sunday Throwbacks is on. My guest is, first of all, he's a childhood friend. I got a little short story that I'm going to tell you when he comes on. But he is a businessman. When I tell you he's a man of business, a man of honor, a man of integrity, a man of determination, all of that. I'm talking about Calvin Carey from the Calvin Carey Agency. We got a lot to talk about, yes, and we got some revealing information that you may or may not know. You think you know some stuff, and it'd be like, oh, really? I didn't know that. We're going to talk about all of that, so make sure that you like and share. But first of all, we want to get into some music. This is Black History Month, and I want to open up with a throwback. Chris Jones and Word of Praise with the famous Like a Rock, Like a Rock.
Oh, yes.
And when we come back, my guest is going to grace the table, Calvin Carey. This is Sunday Throwback. Everybody, come on, like. Hit that button. Hit that button. Hit that button.
You say praise. Shabbat. When I say Shabbat, you say praise. Shabbat. When I say Shabbat, you say praise. Shabbat. When I say Shabbat, you say praise. Shabbat. Now throw your hands in the air and wave it like you just don't care. If you're down with my Lord, if you're down with my Savior, somebody say, oh yeah.
Yes, I missed that guy. Oh my goodness. Yes, that was the late great Chris Jones featuring Word of Praise with Like a Rock. That album, and then he came back and did a remix a couple times with that. But I just missed that guy. He was funny. He was energetic and
Right.
musician extraordinaire, y'all. That was Like a Rock. But listen, this is Sunday Throwback, and my guest is sitting right here. This guy, this athlete. Listen, I got a story. I got a quick story. But let me say this real quick. Hailing from Detroit, Calvin's journey is marked by academic excellence and athletics. See, he's an athlete. Achievements, including honors in both academics and basketball. After his tenure at Northwestern High School and Oakland University on a scholarship, Calvin served with distinction in the United States Marine Corps station at Camp Lejeune and Selfridge Air Force Base. And that is just a piece of his resume, but I did want to share that. But now here is my story. Childhood, okay? We all used to talk smack on the block about football. So Calvin had a group of fellas that he used to bring from Cross 12.
Yes. Yep.
On the other side of 12, and I lived on, we used to bring fellas from Pingree, Lee Place, Hazelwood, Woodrow Wilson area. We'd have Jesse, Dwayne, Calvin, his brother Greg, and myself and some other people. And we would meet up at Hutchins Middle School on Hazelwood and Woodrow Wilson. We meet up at that field. Calvin bring his people, I bring my people. And Calvin had this guy. I was just asking him about this guy. This guy, he be talking all loud, and he was a big dark-skinned guy. Never want to get popped by him. Now, back then, when we played football with just knee pads and elbow pads. Wasn't all this stuff that they wearing now, all this foam and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was knee pads and elbow pads. Everything else was body. And when I tell you, when the day was over, they ended up winning. And that's my intro. Calvin Carey. What's up, man? Childhood friend right here. Childhood friend. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well. God has graced me over the years.
Yes.
Gone through some things.
Yeah.
Some ups and downs, vicissitudes, ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Which has brought me to where I am today.
Yes, sir. And he looks the same, y'all. I promise you. He looks the same weight, same build, same height. The only thing is that he has a little gray on him.
Yes.
But that's Calvin Carey over 20 some odd years ago. This is Calvin Carey right here. Same look.
Appreciate it. Life is an investment.
Yeah.
You make it what you want to make it.
Yes, sir.
I always tell people that, you have to live, you have to redeem your time. The only way you can redeem your time is really by investing in yourself.
Yeah.
One of my greatest quotes, which comes from Einstein, he said that the greatest investment that you can make in your life is in yourself.
Yeah.
So, as you get older, the best years are behind us. Now, when we look through the lens, our telescope ahead, we have to make these days count. They're worth more than gold.
Yeah.
So that investment is priceless.
Yeah. Now, with you being in the military and you was in the Marines and stationed at Camp Lejeune, you transitioned into civilian life. What did you get into when you left the military? What was the first thing you started?
So when I came home, I was just, looking to find, I guess I would call a sense of purpose for my life, what I really wanted to do, didn't know what I wanted to do, because when you come out of the military, all you have is you go back to where you came from, which is home.
Yeah.
You back at home with mom and, now you got to, pick up the pieces. But one thing that, when I came back home from the Marine Corps, I played at Oakland University. And when I came home and in the neighborhood, I saw everybody wearing my Oakland University paraphernalia.
Right.
People had my jerseys on, my sweats on. My brothers had, went out and I guess they just gave them to the people in the neighborhood. But when I got back, I transitioned into I got a job. I started off with some miscellaneous jobs, and then eventually I started working at a law firm. And I believe the first law firm I started working at was Butts Along.
Mm-hmm.
And from Butts Along, I worked there for a year as a copy room clerk. And then I left there and went to Jaffe Snyder, where I became a messenger.
Okay.
So I was filing court papers at the courts in the downtown area.
Yeah.
And from there, I realized that, I couldn't do this, too much longer. I mean, it was just a job doing the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
There was no exposure. So I had to make a decision whether I was going to go back to school or start a business.
Right.
Shortly after that, a year and a half, I started carrier service.
Carrier service.
Which the idea came from when we were not able to file documents at Oakland County, Macomb County. They had a service that would come in and do the extra work that we couldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I asked the guy, I said, so who do you work for? He said he worked for himself. That gave me an idea. I said, well, if I can come in and if I start a business and provide the same service to law firms, I could make something out of this. And Lord behold, a year later, I started my own business. And then a year after that, in 1991, I became Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year for the state of Michigan and the Michigan Development Council.
Wow.
And from there, my journey started, and I took a one-man team to a 10-man team in a matter of a couple of years.
Wow.
And over that period of time, up until 2011, I had 67 accounts. We were filing documents all over the state of Michigan at every court, county court, circuit court, and Supreme Court, Court of Appeals. And in the interim of that, an attorney asked me if I would be interested in becoming an investigator for their firm. Now, this attorney was affiliated with Sam Bernstein. And I told him yes, but it took me a while to transition because I didn't really want to, interrupt what I was doing. Then they allowed me to come in, and I started to learn, what it meant to be a personal injury investigator. And then along with that, I began to get all the credentials to, become a investigator. And from there, it was like handwriting on the wall. It was like the future was happening before it happened. Because in 2011 to 2014, the messenger courier service went from people to electronic.
Yeah.
I had to lay off everybody.
Wow.
Because our services were no longer needed. They went from people to what they call e-filing.
E-filing. Wow.
So every county court across the state, by 2014, everything was electronic.
So at that point, you had to find something else to do.
Well, thank God, when I got involved with becoming an investigator, that was the transition from one door closing
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the next door closing. And we would, after I got acclimated in that, and I was doing it simultaneously with the time where we were doing the filings, and that allowed me to, take that on full fledged.
Yeah.
I went from that to now running personal injury investigators. We were court managers and investigators, from court managers and investigators to personal injury investigators, from doing maybe 100 cases a month to almost 300 cases a month throughout the whole state of Michigan. So
that is a lot.
So I had a staff,
Yeah.
and we would, when people got injured in accident,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was an auto, whether it was a slip and fall, dog bite, malpractice, general liability, the law firms would contact us.
Mm-hmm.
We would go out and we would meet the client. We would do an interview. We would, do an investigation, talk to witnesses.
Yeah.
We would get pictures, videos, and then we would do what we call a investigation report and turn it in within 24, 48 hours.
Wow.
And so that's how a case is started. A lot of times people think the attorney is coming out to meet with them. Attorney doesn't have time to come out and meet a client
Yeah.
when he already has 800 clients.
Yeah.
So we were like a para group or service that went out to help, facilitate all of those new cases.
Wow. Listen, for those of you that are just tuning in, we are talking to Calvin Carey. He is a entrepreneur, proprietor of Calvin Carey Agency. I want to get into what you're doing now, but before we get to it, Mother Florence, we're wearing turtlenecks today. I'm gonna tell you why we're wearing turtlenecks today. I've seen the question.
Right.
She was like, "What's with all the turtlenecks?" Calvin Carey is really a turtleneck wearer. I mean, for the most part.
Right.
You look at the majority of his pictures that he posts, he's in a turtleneck. So, in the spirit of our guest, Mother, we need a turtleneck. Because this guy is always in turtlenecks. But anyway, I want to get to some music. I need you all to like and share, because we're going to get into a conversation concerning insurance, because he has his own business concerning insurance. And I want you all to listen to some things that he's about to kick to you, because this guy got some knowledge to kick. We was out in the lobby talking before the show, and there was some surprising things that I just didn't know. So let's get to this music. Of course, this is my favorite producer. Who is it, Sandy? I know. Doobie Powell. We're talking about peace and love.
Oh,
this
yes.
is Black History Month.
Oh, you trying to
and we
rock
need
today,
some
huh?
peace and love.
Oh, you trying to rock
Peace and
today.
love live in Israel.
Yes.
Yes. And we'll be right back, everybody. This is Sunday Throwback.
We gotta love one another. Listen, Marvin asked the question, what's going on? Yeah. And Curtis Mayfield said that we gotta have peace. Dr. Martin Luther King told us, yeah. Time is right. Hey, do what is right. And we can't get Mr. Marley, who wanted us to have. What about
yes, yes, yes.
Oh man, oh man.
Yes, 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 yes. That was peace and love. Y'all know we need some peace and love.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
You know, all this hell raising is going on. We need some peace and love in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yes, I
Amen.
said it right here on Sunday Throwbacks. That's the truth. That was Doobie Powell. I want to give a shout out to everybody that is watching. I know my beautiful wife is on, and there's a lot of other people. Teresa Acton from the Sandy Road Show.
Yes, sir.
Yes, out of Lexington, Kentucky, and there's many other people on Mama Florence. But Six Strings, one of the baddest bass players on this side of heaven. Six Strings is on. Shout out to you, man, and your lovely wife, man. Shout out to y'all down there in Oklahoma, about to make that big move to the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to
That's
Six Strings.
what's up.
Got to have you back on, man. Let's talk. Listen, you moved from all of that. You went from carrier to private investigating, and now you are doing something that everybody needs.
Yes.
First off, by law,
Yeah, by law.
whether you want it or not,
Right.
by law,
By law.
you need some insurance.
Absolutely.
Okay, this man has his own agency. It's called Carry Agency. I want you to, first of all, talk a little bit about how did you jump into it, and then let's get to the nitty gritty of it, of people knowing the difference in being insured and being covered. Like we had that conversation, man.
Yes.
You had me out there hollering.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So let's first of all get into, how did you get into insurance from private investigating? Man, you taking pictures and saying, did you really hurt yourself? And all that. Did you really hurt yourself? Because y'all know, some of y'all be out there lying. Now stop it.
Yes. 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 It's a lot of, there's some what they call habitual,
Line steppers.
they get injured, every 6
hangnail.
months.
Right. Right.
So, being in the personal injury industry, as an investigator, when I met with clients that were injured, the first thing I would ask for was a declaration page.
Mhm.
What is a declaration page? A declaration page is a page that tells you the benefits that are in your policy by which you are covered for.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, being a personal injury investigator, understand this: when somebody's injured, that's a serious matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first thing they want to know, how am I going to, continue my livelihood?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to pay my bills? Who's going to pay the medical bills? Is my car going to get fixed? What if someone dies?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of factors that go into a policy. So I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis of me being an investigator. So I meet a client that was injured in an accident, and let's say that his injuries were, he got injured, got a broken leg, had to have surgery, rods, pins put in.
Mm-hmm.
There's two policies that are affiliated with that claim: your policy and the defendant's policy.
Wow.
Right? So if you are insured, the person that hits you will pay what they call third-party damages,
Mm-hmm.
meaning your pain and suffering.
Mm.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But what if that person doesn't have insurance that hits you?
Wow.
The question was, are you covered? Are you insured, or are you covered?
And there's a difference.
There's a difference.
Let's talk about it. Y'all listen.
People that have insurance, the first thing they do, especially when they go buy a car, they just want to drive the car off the lot. So they'll call an insurance agent. I just want to get my car, and I just want to just get out there, and so I meet, the state requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So if that person gets in an accident and that agent did not vet him, meaning ask all the proper questions, and guess who doesn't ask proper questions? There's a lot of the commercial insurance agency, they don't ask the questions. Why? Because they're not agents. They're carriers. They make their money by what? Advertisement. My agency, we don't advertise. They invest in their agents. And our objective is to build a relationship with the client so that we ask all the proper questions. And if you can't answer those questions, we can't insure you. As a fiduciary and a trusted advisor,
Yes.
if I put a person on my books that just bought a car and then 6 months later, he canceled his policy or he stopped paying for his policy, then I'm penalized.
Right.
So the money that I got paid, I got to give back.
Wow.
I don't want that type of client.
Even 6 months down the road, you have to return that.
Yes.
6 months.
You have to return that. So being insured and covered is a person that basically he gets a vehicle or has a car. And this is not only an auto, this is home, life insurance, business insurance, commercial insurance. I provide a full line, what we call multi-line insurance services for any and anybody for any and anything that they insure. And to your point, at the beginning of the segment, everything is insured. When you walk outside, everything and everybody is insured in some capacity.
Yes.
The roads that we drive down are insured. The highways we drive down are insured. The sidewalks that we walk on are insured. If you walk on a parking lot, it's insured. The buildings that you walk in are insured. People either have life insurance, auto insurance, health insurance, and they may have disability insurance.
Right.
They may have income business insurance. Everybody is insured in some type of capacity. And when people do not take their insurance seriously, they're going to face consequences sooner or later.
Yeah.
So covered means that when we sit down as an agent or agency and ask you questions as to your income, how much do you make? A round estimate. I don't have to know exactly, but I want to make sure if something happens that your income will be taken care of. I want to make sure that you'll be able to pay your bills. I want to make sure that your medical bills are going to be paid. I want to make sure that if you transition, who's going to take care of your family?
Yes.
Right.
So it's not just about auto insurance. It's about all insurance, because insurance gives you what? Assurance that if something should happen, you are covered.
And this is something that we need to talk about, Calvin, because, and I don't want
to. Let's go there.
Church, and I'm not saying everybody, but it, folks transition and they're putting things on Facebook about help us put this person away, the GoFundMe and things like that. And that's a result of us not having ourselves together, having our paperwork together when something like that happens, when people transition. We have to do better. We have to do better in that area because we experience it all the time. And because the church loved the way we do, we tolerate it, but we don't talk about it.
Right.
We don't talk about it. There's always a GoFundMe, not insurance, because people just didn't have their stuff together. And I really hope everybody is really listening. I'm not trying to go off on anything or anybody. There may have been a situation where you had to do it. And I get that. But now we're giving you this information. Okay, we're winning a victory through Christ, even through this information. Right. We're winning a victory through Christ. We want you to be victorious because the Bible talks about us leaving an inheritance to our family, not leaving them with bills and not leaving them with unnecessities that they have to go through because you didn't have your stuff together.
Right.
Now, deep down inside, I wanted to say something else. Now, I'm just being real. But now we have to stop that. Now, Calvin Carey is a successful agent. Man, let's talk about this. I'm not even going to go into the song because I want to spend a couple more minutes where you're at, because we are leaving our families, man. We're leaving our families a debt. We're leaving them a debt when we get out of here and we don't have our stuff together. We're leaving them a debt. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it.
You know, life insurance, as we think about it, I want you to think about your mother. I want you to think about your grandmother, your grandfather. Do you know, growing up, your mother, your grandmother, grandfather, they all had insurance policies?
Yes.
The insurance man would come to your house every week to collect on life insurance. It costs little or nothing.
Yes.
Today, in some sense, it still costs little or nothing. See, as an insurance agent, I'm duty bound to talk about insurance. It is my responsibility. You may not want to hear about it, but you hear about it whether you hear it from me or not. Case in point, church members are transitioning at an alarming rate.
Yes.
And the thing that comes up most is, I guess a lot of people think that, well, I don't need it, but what is there not to need when it is really a foundation builder for not only you, but your family and your community?
Yes.
So when something happens, I guess people think that God is going to fund them, right? By them family going to fund them.
Can you say that again? Please say that again.
One more time for the Chiefs.
They think that God is going to fund them, meaning that their family is going to go fund them. Meaning we have this online apparatus where people reach out to family, friends, community to help pay for a funeral arrangement, when if you would have just took $100 a month, you would have had $25, $30, $50, $100, $500,000 in a fund, insurance, insurance that would have protected you and your family. And the sooner you get insurance, the younger you get insurance, the cheaper it is.
There are some questions here. I gotta. There is some questions here because people is getting into it. Mother Florence, Mama Florence, though. Mother Florence said, y'all get your nails done and you get your hair done and won't take care of the real necessities. You are absolutely right, Mother. My wife, Stacy, asked, what is the best type of policy to have? Because now there are commercials, man, where they are saying, get rid of your policy. Get rid of your policy and get some money. Your children are all going to school. You don't need this policy anymore. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have.
I saw
Yes.
a couple days ago.
What is the best type of policy to have?
Well, those advertisements are only in it for themselves. So it benefits you. And the only reason they ask people to do that because they're not educated about insurance. So as a kid from birth until 18, a young kid can only get a $25,000 policy, a whole life, and that's whole life. And what does that do for kids? So we're going to go in categories.
Okay.
So a parent can insure them up to $25,000. Can't insure them for $100,000. Can't insure them for $1 million, because you know what would happen if that was the case.
Right. Right.
You know,
Watch in this world, I'll take you out.
Well, we've heard that. Right. Gosh, Mom, would you really do that? But that kid, the purpose of that policy is not just for if this kid transitions or dies from a medical condition or what have you, or accident, it's really a foundational teaching for the purpose of learning what money is. Do you know from a baby until you're 18 years old, you can accumulate up to $25,000 of cash value in that policy that you can take out and do whatever you want with it? That's what a young kid can do. So all those are guests and listeners out there that want to understand what insurance is. If you have children, insure them. When they turn 18, if they need a car, they're going to college, you know, they want to invest their money, they can take that money out of that policy and do something with that. Do you know Master P did that?
Yeah.
His grandparents had a cash value, a policy for him. And when he turned 18, he opened up his own record store with the cash value in the policy.
Wow.
So whole life for, up until 18. Now, then we transition from that into term life. Now, term life is up to the age of 61 to 65. You can get 100,000, you can get $500,000, you get $1 million, and it costs dollars. That's if you're healthy. If you don't have any comorbidities, so that's why you get insured younger. So once you get insured younger,
right,
no matter what happens to you after that,
right,
you can have cancer, lupus, fibromyalgia, you can have any disease, and guess what? You are insured.
And $25,000 is going to get me a cushion.
Now, what the church, the community needs to understand is that insuring your loved ones protects not only what they have, but it protects future income. Because if I transition, you want your loved ones, your wife, your husband, they have to go through a grieving process. And when you do a GoFundMe, now you have created a whole nother consequence that they got to go through. So they have to go to work grieving.
Right.
There's no time off.
Right.
But to answer to your question, each policy, whether it's universal life is a different type of policy. That's something I would have to get into, face to face. The second is a whole life policy. Is mostly for term. But even as adults, a young adult, you get a $100,000 policy at the age of 20. By the time you're 40 years old, accumulated cash value. Now you're ready to buy a house, right?
Yeah.
So now you can take that money out of that policy, and then you can take that money out of that policy and put down on a home. Go buy a car. Pay for your kid's first, year of tuition. There's so many advantages, but every case has its own fingerprint. So everybody has insurance. Everybody that gets insurance, it's really meeting you face to face and understanding your portfolio.
Yeah.
So how we do that, we identify that when we use a tool called B-File. B-File, I asked you a number of questions based on your financial, based on your work project, your what you own, your assets, to determine what your value is. And another thing, one of the things that I find alarming is people saying that you'll get into some intense fellowship with people and people will rise up and say, you don't know them.
Right.
Well, that is to say that I'm somebody and I have value. How do you determine your value? How do you measure that? Do you measure that by just saying it? Because anybody that has value, they have a financial portfolio that will tell you what their value is. So all those that are out there that think that they're worth $1 million, how do you back that up? How do you measure that? One of the ways to back that up and measure that is through a life insurance policy.
Right.
You can insure yourself for $1 million, especially if you're a young man and woman, a young adult.
Right.
And it wouldn't cost you $100
Right.
to have that type of value on your life.
Because we spend so much money doing other things, other things that is really not a benefit down the road. It's like it's a right now feeling. It's a right now enjoyment. But now we get down the road,
Right.
and we, as Mama would say, scratching and fetching. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, this is what I want to do, because I want everybody. I know there are those that may want to get in touch with this young man, Calvin Carey Agency, and we're going to give his information. I want you to give your information and everything, but I want to get to this song real quick. And there is a question before we get to this song. Do you still have to pay that $25,000 back to that policy
Quick answer.
when you get it? Yes.
Quick answer. So if if you take $25,000, that means you have to have $25,000 back in the policy. To take $25,000 out the policy. And there's ways to do that. But yes, you have to pay it back. However, if you don't pay it back, what's remaining in that policy is only what's remaining for you, that you're insured. There's no penalty other than not, let's say it's a $100,000 policy and you took $25,000 out. So if something happened to that loved one, the policy would be now $75,000.
Right. So there is no penalty. They just, okay, well, it was 150, now it's 125 because
Yes.
you didn't pay the other 25.
And the $25,000 is really is a starter policy for kids. But as adults, if you're 18 years old, now you want to probably, or 21 years old, you want to get a whole life policy that will accumulate that cash value with what we call a PUR. So instead of putting your money in the savings, you put it into the policy.
Yes.
So now it's accumulating interest. So whenever you need that money, it's like going to the bank, but you're going to your insurance agency to
Yes.
pull the money out.
That's
so
good.
There's no penalty against you taking that money out. It's your money.
It's your money and I want it now. Don't mind me. Listen, let's get to this song, and then when we come back, I want Calvin to give all of his information of how you can get in contact with him. After this song, we're going to have a little brief break. It is it's one of your favorites. See, I just thought you just pop it on. It is Faith to Trust by my good friend Elder Charles Curry. And then when we come back, we're going to have a little break. And then I want Calvin to give all his information. And when you all contact him, I'm not even going to say if, when you all contact him, I want you to say, I heard about you. I saw you on Sunday Throwbacks. We'll be right back, everybody. This is Sunday Throwback.
God bless you, my brothers and sisters. This is Pastor John Hall of Rehoboth International Ministry. Listen, tune in to WVTC Detroit. Come on, check us out. Sunday Throwbacks. You don't want to miss it.
And oh, for grace to trust Him more. Trust you more. Help me say, for grace to trust Him more. For grace. many of you all have a worship in your spirit? To know, oh, for grace. Oh, for grace.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Everybody, we are back. This is Sunday Throwback. We are here with Calvin Kett, man. He talking about the information, the rich information that we're getting on today. Lewis, quick question from you, man. I know I'm sorry, man. This has been crazy.
Shirley Johnson actually asked my one question that I had. My other question that I had is for those who have insurance through their jobs or whatever. Does that job insurance cover, or would it be best to get your own on the side?
Yes and no. Job insurance is what we call group policies.
Okay.
So your insurance is predicated on all the employees that work for that company.
Okay.
So they get favorable rates. So, but a lot of the group policies are basic policies, especially a life insurance policy.
Okay.
It can be just a burial policy.
Okay.
So you're not protected. Now, if for some reason you leave that job, you don't get to carry that insurance with
Right.
you. So you lose that insurance. So you have to look out for your own best interest. You should have your own insurance, your what we call a insurance portfolio. You should understand all the different aspects of your insurance, the cost and the benefits to your policy. And you should get a checkup with your agent every 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Because your situations and circumstances change. If a newborn baby comes into your life, you want to insure your newborn, right? So the dichotomy of that is that business insurance, employer insurance is different from having your own insurance. It's best to protect yourself because your insurance at work does not really protect you, unless you go to that group policy or the agency to get your own policy. But if you are the type of job it is, determines the value of that policy.
Yeah. Okay. Great question. There is one more question that we have here, and then we want to get to how people can get in contact with you and have some final thoughts and get out of here as the time is winding down. And then also, too, please keep in mind that these companies are at will. They'll let you go tomorrow, and then you're looking for Cobra insurance. Why do they base insurance on your credit rating? What is it about that?
So the criteria is, it's not your credit. It's not based on your credit rating. The credit has only a fraction of the actual rating. So let's say you have a 600 credit score, right? I mean, that's mediocre credit, right? But you pay all your bills on time.
Right.
So, but those are two factors that go into that, what we call a Vantage score. A Vantage score is predicated on your consumer report. So all the things that go into it is your driving record, your past history of paying bills, your credit score. If there's some other things that are involved in your history, you could be, let's say you have a warrant out for your arrest. Do you know that will impact? We see all of that. And when people ask why my score is, 1,400, those are some of the reasons. I'm not saying those are the reasons, but we will get a breakdown from LexisNexis that gives us all of that information. Now, not every city Detroit, unfortunately, is red line. Southfield,
That's a whole nother show.
red line.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an agenda, I have an objective is to get 1,000 people in the city of Detroit that fit a criteria from home, auto, life, and umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can successfully get 1,000 people that want to have all those type of insurances, I can take that to Farm Bureau and say, look, I got 1,000 people. What type of rating can I get if these people, good credit, they have good jobs, they pay their bills on time? How can this benefit us? But it has to be done. And also, I have a plan, what I call an insurance fund for churches and how they can insure all their members and their loved ones.
Wow.
So that's something that I have brainstormed over the past few months, because Detroit, they want Detroit, but they don't know how to get Detroit. So, and my objective is to be that pillar, that foundation, and my foundation needs building blocks, and it's you. You are my building blocks. You know, I want to build this agency with our community, with our churches, with our schools, with our families, so that we can grow together.
Yes.
My agency is not just a Calvin Carey agency, it's a family agency.
Yes, sir.
I got in this business because I knew people were hurting on the other side.
Mhm.
They were inadequately insured. Now you get an agent that can sit down and tell you when, why, what, where, and how, and understand that we have the money.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to make what is important priority.
Yes.
Prioritize, organize, so that you can protect and safeguard your family and your friends,
Yes.
your community. If the community, the organizations in Detroit, the churches, can sit down with myself or other agents, my plan is to disrupt this mindset that we have been operating in for many, many years. It takes little or nothing, $10 to $100 a month to insure your life.
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that worth it?
And to benefit others in case you get out of here.
Right.
Right.
And what if the,
Yeah.
the families and the churches partner with each other?
Yeah.
That's the plan that I have. And there's a way to do that.
Yeah.
There's an allocation process that can be established where we all win together. There's no reason why someone should transition and then the church do the funeral. We're barely paying the funeral bill. But then there's nothing for the family to go back and grieve off. Can I tell a quick story? Real quick story. A young man in our agency had a friend that he
Yes.
was trying to insure. And his friend said, no, man, I don't want to get insured. I don't believe in insurance, and so on and so. But he kept on pursuing him. Took him about 3 months to do it, right? The guy finally got insurance. So a month later, his friend went hiking.
Wow.
And he ended up falling from a cliff. And they found his body in a ravine down yonder, right?
Yes.
His wife didn't know he got insurance because they didn't believe in it.
Wow.
He came to the funeral and he pulled his wife to the side and said, I need to talk to you. And he presented her with a check for $250,000.
Wow.
And
Thank God for discernment. Listen, I want you quickly, because our Our time is gone. But I want you quickly, because I believe there's 1,000 people out there in reference to that plan that you were talking about to change the game, because that's basically what you're trying to do is change the game and help people. I want you to quickly give everybody your information as to how they can get in contact with you. I want you all to call him. Let's get this 1,000 to him so he can do what he needs to do, because he knows what to do. He just need you all with those criteria to help him do it, so it'll benefit everybody. Give them your information and how that they can get in contact with you.
You can reach me at my number, office number. The best number to reach me is 248-936-0092. My office number is 248-792-6017. And I'm going to give you another number. This will reach me directly. This is a business cell number. It is 947-215-0750.
Repeat that number again.
947-215-0750. You can text message me. You can call me. If I don't answer, believe me, I'm in business because of you. I will get back to you. You are my business. And I just want to say this is that, you know, our other people, they believe in insurance. Their families support them insurance. Their communities support them insurance. But when a brother, quote unquote, black agent, do you know that I get more no's than I get yes? I have more, unfortunately, other ethnic groups insured than my own brothers and sisters.
And we got to change that.
We have to change that.
We definitely have to change that. And man, we got to do this again. We got to do this again because it is very important. Our people, this is Black History Month, and I can say this, our people have to do better when it comes to leaving an inheritance to our family, because we all going to travel down this road. We're all going to transition and leave someone behind. And we don't want to leave bills and things like that behind. So, Calvin, I want to take this opportunity, man, to say thank you so much. It's been a long time, but we're not going to do that anymore. We're here. We are connected. And I thank God for you. And we got to do this again. Everybody, next week, Bishop J.A. Williams from Spirit and Truth Christian Center will be my guest. So make sure that you all tune in next week. Again, Calvin Carey Agency. When you all call him, let him know you heard about it on WVTC Radio Detroit on Sunday Throwbacks. We will see you all next week. Peace.
Peace.
And we will sing the songs of his fame. Forever testify of his grace.
Thank you for tuning in to Sunday Throwbacks with Larry Whitfield on WVTC Detroit. Listen, if you would like to become a partner or guest on our show, please send us an email at lwhitfieldmusic@yahoo.com. That's lwhitfieldmusic@yahoo.com, or call 313-879-9752. That number again is 313-879-9752. We encourage you that God is always in the place, but what you have to do is get him in your space. When you do, your life will never be the same. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
This is Pastor Eric Wilkerson of Up From the World Ministries North and South, and I listen to WVTC Detroit, and I'd like for you to tune in and listen as well.
Ellen Hayes brings you Another Chance featuring the Word of Truth Mass Choir. Available on all digital platforms and meetellenhayes.com on January 19th. Get ready for an uplifting experience. Another Chance is a gospel song that speaks to the theme of repentance, redemption, and grace. The lyrics convey a message of seeking forgiveness, embracing second chances, and the transformative power of faith. The melody uplifts with a blend of soulful vocals, harmonious instrumentation, and powerful crescendos, creating an atmosphere of hope and renewal. Mark your calendars to buy this incredible song.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Hi, I am Pastor Miranda Faye Pope of Rafa Ministries International, and I listen to WVTC Detroit, and I want to invite you to listen in.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.